Feel magically welcome to this dive in man. Here we are cracking the ice and leaving the masks behind. This is a journey to the essence through inner revolution stories. A space of surrendering, expression, of vulnerability and liberation, where we focus on soul expression, human transformation, conscious masculinity, and inner and outer travels that lead to constant rebirths. I'm Joanna Patricio, the Blue Dreamer, and I'm your guide in this fusion between shadow and light. A space where the authentic voices of men are heard. For today's episode, I have with me one of my dearest friends. His name is Ondřej Vaněk. We've lived together in Greece, which was the beginning of what our lives are like now, I think, for both of us. The last 5 years were incredibly touching and I know I'm even getting emotional, you know. Because the last 5 years since Greece, like, things in my life have completely changed. Like, it was really a whole new beginning. That was the marking point, and I know that for you was also a very big mark as well. And it's incredible that 5 years after we are here and recording these episodes with a podcast. How do I even have a podcast? How do I even am like talking to people? And now you can actually see all the things that we've been through the last years, all the places we have been, the people we've met, how much we have grown actually, and how much we have overcome our own selves, you know. So
that's definitely.
Welcome, Ondřej.
Thank you for a great introduction, Joanna. So first of all, I would like to thank you for having me in your series Dive in Man, and it's a real honor for me, and it's really good to talk to you. Everything what you just said is absolutely true. I usually don't stay in touch with a lot of people from abroad, but you are one of the best friends I made abroad, and I'm really happy that we can at least once in time talk to each other, and I'm really happy for that we can talk today about everything, about our lives, how everything moved on and changed in the last 5 years, because it has been a long journey for both of us. Like you said it in Athens, it was absolutely beginning. I had no idea back in days what's going to happen in my life, and so many things happened in my life, so many things happened in your life, and I'm really happy that we can share it with each other.
And you know, it's also amazing that somehow we actually managed to see each other sometimes, like in between, like physically, you know, in the last years. And for me, that's incredible. Not in the sense of actually seeing you, but the fact that every time we meet, it's like we go back to that place and to those moments and to the energy that we were living there, but with an extra, which is the persons that we have been becoming and the knowledge and awareness that now we have. And I think that's incredible that every time we see each other, it's like we have these new things to talk about, but in this super energetic way. That goes back to those times in Greece. And I want to ask you, like, since the last 5 years really have been life-changing for both of us, what would you say were the things that marked you the most in Greece? What were those? What did you learn there? What were the biggest lessons you got there?
Okay, so I would begin with the fact that when I was going to Greece, to Athens, I had no idea what was going to happen there. Like, I didn't have any expectations actually. I just knew that this is going to be much better than stay at home, and I left my country with back in these days I didn't have really good self-confidence, so I quite thought that I'm not going to survive that. So I was just leaving my room in there was so huge mess, and I closed the door and I told to myself, okay, Ondřej, you're not going to be back alive, so it doesn't matter, you don't have to clean it up. And I left to Athens with quite no expectations. All I wanted was experience and live, and it happened there. And it was the best 6 months in my life, I guess, because it was Erasmus program, and to be honest, we studied there, but in that school where I studied, it was not actually about studying, so we didn't have to go to school very often, so we had a lot of time for traveling and, you know, for enjoying life and meeting new people. And because I had really bad self-confidence, this was the biggest test back in these days in my life, and it opened my eyes and it opened the gates to self-development and you know, to getting to know this world and how life works. And I fell in love with traveling there. I fell in love with meeting new people from different countries, different cultures, and this was an unbelievable dream for me when I was a child, because if anyone told me back in these days when I was a child that I'm going to study in abroad, like in English language, you know, and travel, I would send him to the doctor and I would say he's not okay, because my self-confidence was really bad. But after all of these, it happened. I traveled, I met a lot of people, amazing people like you, for example. I learned how to live in different country. I have met a lot of people with different stories, different cultures. I stopped fear traveling. I stopped fear all of these things. And it was basically the start of my life back in Athens. So this was the most important point in my life. And I'm super happy for that this happened. So I started traveling because of Athens. I stopped being afraid of meeting other people, and I stopped being afraid of traveling. I started to think about life in a deeper way, started to trying to find myself, because before Athens I had no idea what I want to do with my life. And because of Athens and Greece and because of you and all of the other people, I just started my life journey. So the best time in my life and start of my life there because of all of you. And yeah, so this was Athens for me.
Yeah, it's you know, I get emotional with these things.
Yeah, I get emotional every time I remember all these moments we had. So yeah.
Yeah, and you know, like really everything that's happened, you know, and that keeps happening. Really, it was really marking points, and I feel it for myself and my life, but I also feel it for you because I mean I've seen who you were, who you have been, and who you are. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Thanks. But I have the same feeling about you, Joanna. You have made a lot of steps since Athens, and you have come a long journey. So I think we share this thing, and it's amazing.
yeah, it really is. It's really like this risking, you know, this point that you don't know exactly what's gonna happen. You just know you have to go, and you just know. I mean, I wasn't even planning to go on Erasmus. It just happened, and then it really had to happen. It really had completely.
Yeah,
It was really like when things actually started moving, when I started to move things, and it's really these sensations of risking, of really jumping out of cliffs in which we don't see what is there, but we
yeah,
do it anyway. And I mean, the way it changed our lives, it's so meaningful. And what made you go to Athens, since it was like this thing that you thought you wouldn't come back alive? And I remember you telling us this.
yeah. Well, it's
And it was also a big leap of courage, you know, like if you had this notion that perhaps you wouldn't be coming back alive, and you still did go, it, you know, it means something. What made you go, and what made you be interested in trying this opportunity?
yeah. I see. Well, I guess it's my past. because it's a strong emotion. I grew up without parents, and when I was 15 years old, I had a 45 kilogram overweight. So basically, my future back in these days on elementary school was nothing. Like, I didn't believe in myself, and no one believed in myself, and so my self-confidence was really, really bad. When I was leaving elementary school, we were supposed to decide which high school we should go or we want to go, and I was told that I am not clever enough to make it through the high school. So I went to the training institution, which is less than high school in Czech Republic. It's usually something where you end up working with your hands. Like, it's you don't have to be clever just as if you want to study high school. So I went to the training institution and I made it somehow. I finished that successfully. So I tried for a high school and I finished the high school successfully. Then I tried college and I made myself successfully to the second year. And by this time I already lost 20 kilograms. But all of these things, it was unbelievable dream for me when I was 15 years old. So to make it to the college or lost some overweight was like going to the universe for me. Like, it was unbelievable. But I made it. And when I was in second year of college, Jirka, he was there with us in Athens, came to me and he asked me to go him to Athens, like to study. And I remember exactly what I said to him. I was like, "Oh, you must be really crazy, my friend. You are talking to bad person. You want me to go to different country? I'm afraid to go 30 kilometers from my town to the college. Like, you really want me to go like 2,000 kilometers away, study and live in abroad and different country?" And because I made it to that training institution and high school and I lost 20 kilograms, which first of all, I didn't believe that I can make something like that, but I made it. So I told myself, okay, let's go. I don't give a fuck. Let's try it. Whatever happens, it's much better than to stay at home and stay at the same point in my life. I'm going there and whatever happens, it's supposed to happen. So let's go. And that was the biggest decision of my life, and it was the best decision of my life. So it's basically all about bad self-confidence, which I had because of other people when I was a child. And I somehow believe in myself every day. Even in the times when I had really, really bad self-confidence, there has been all the time something stronger inside of me, which made me to do all of these steps, because I knew that I need to go there, or I need to make this decision, or my life is going to get worse and worse. So I just have some engine inside of me, I guess, which doesn't allow me to stop, or I don't know, something like that.
And it's getting you like, and already got you way beyond your expectations, way beyond what was your horizon. What were your horizons back then? Way beyond.
Yeah, I guess.
Because
for
now,
myself,
of course,
yeah,
you have
yeah.
way more horizons, way more perspectives, and it's different. But compared to what you thought was possible, you already conquered way more than what even you could imagine back then.
Yeah, that's.
And how was it for you, like, to grow up without
Mhm.
parents and with your sister?
Well, actually, because maybe it's going to sound like weird or funny, but I spent vast majority of my time in the computer game called World of Warcraft, which is a game where we can play with other players, real people behind the monitor, and we had a good community. So I basically changed realities. I guess it was probably because I had really shitty childhood with parents, and that's why I changed the realities. So from my, let's say, 14 years old to my 16 or 17, I spent it in that computer game, and it was a really amazing time for me. I know it sounds weird, but the reality there with all the people playing that game with me, it was really cool. But when I was 17 or 18 years old, I realized that I should really start to live real life. So I stopped, and I guess I was old enough to realize some things, like, that I should start on my own real life. So I started it. It was hard at the very beginning because I didn't have any, usually you have parents who guide you into that growing up life. Like they learn you things, they prepare you for this world and for the life, and I didn't have it. I needed to learn it by my own, but it was really hard for me. But I believe I made it. All of this growing up was, at least the vast majority of it, in Athens, because it was really strong for me, because this was the first step into my growing up life, the Athens, because that was the first time it actually wasn't the first time when I had a responsibility for paying a rent or something, but in Athens it was much more difficult, because you are way far away from your home and you need to really take care of yourself by your own. And I made it somehow, and I realized that it's not that hard at the end. I learned that, and I started from this point, hopefully, as a grown up person.
About the video games, in my opinion, it's not weird at all. It's actually quite common. Lots of youngsters, especially guys, it's like kind of escape, escape out of reality, and that is something that motivates you and that drives you to do something, and it's like you can focus on that and the rest doesn't exist. And there are lots of boys and girls that actually really they really get too addicted to this feeling, to this connection that they have through the game and to the people in it, instead of actually facing the reality, which is challenging, of course, but at the same time it's like a way to escape life, right? And even though life is challenging, is a challenging adventure that we are here to learn, mostly to learn and to overcome all these blockages and fears. At the same time, it's this thing that it also has incredible things. Sometimes I feel that I'm so glad to be alive. Not always, but sometimes when you really manage to center yourself, you just feel it. Suddenly there is some sparkle, some magic. That's life can be incredible no matter where you are, because yes, we did manage to see this incredible part of life through traveling and through living abroad. But what I learned after was that this feeling alive, this pleasure of living life, it only depends on us, on our inside. Because even for me, like after Greece, I was constantly going to other countries, like either for training courses, for volunteer works, for traveling, because it's addictive. And for me, what is addictive, it's not the traveling itself, but it is the fact of having new stimulus, new people with different backgrounds which you can learn from, and all these sort of things that bring you new perspectives, that make you see things in a different way. And I was feeding myself from it through traveling, but then I understood that I don't need to travel to feel this. And I understood the trick to be okay in Portugal. Not that I wasn't okay, but I always had this willingness to go and to find another place. But now I'm okay here, Of course, I would like to go, but it's like I'm okay. I can be okay here. Even when the quarantine started, I'm okay. Why? Because the point for me, at least for me, it's the stimulus, these different things coming that we can absorb from and have these new inputs that complement who we are or make us think, make us question, and they generate movements. And that's the point, that we always keep moving.
I just wanted to say that this is a huge success for you, Joanna, and I'm really happy for you, because a lot of people are not able to get into this point for their entire life, and you made it when you're really young, and this is the great point in your life, and I'm really happy for that you feel in this way right now. It's really amazing.
I mean, this is the result of a lot of inner work, right? A lot of things that I've been understanding that I have within me that I had no clue about,
Yeah.
and overcoming all these barriers. Of course, some of them I knew, right? But yeah, it really, I mean, I can be my own proof that if we really look into our shadows, into our fears, our traumas, even the over ones, if we really understand what they are, but more than what they are, like what do they want to tell us? Because they are info, and if we really look at them and start finding the roots of them so we can heal them, um I mean, we both are the result of it, like the way things are happening in our lives. So yeah.
Yeah, that's I absolutely agree with you, Jean. It's definitely.
And and it also has to do also, you were mentioning this part of self-confidence, etc. And I think this also has to do with what we were talking last time we saw each other. Like it was actually very nice. Like we were walking at night in the streets of Prague, and we started this conversation about how we, how I, how you, and how everyone, but how we are the only ones responsible for our own happiness, and that sometimes we tend to put that expectation in others, that we are gonna get this happiness, this energy, these good feelings if we are with someone nice, or with this relationship, or if we do a certain thing or eat a certain thing, has if this stimulus from the outside would make us feel these things. And they do, in fact they do, but they are temporarily, right? They are not the thing, because after they are gone, and then you are not okay again. So is this capacity of us actually focusing on ourselves and being our first priority, right?
Yeah, this is the point which took me a lot of time to find out that this is truth, like that our own happiness lies in our mind and our heart, and not in it doesn't lie on a map or in others people, but in our mind and in our heart, and we need to find it inside of ours. This is what I realized in Australia, actually. And I was not able to find a peace in my heart, but Australia showed me the right way, that I should find it in myself, and not in the place, not in other people, but in myself.
And how did you start to get this awareness, that you don't need like somebody else to complete you?
With traveling, because before I started travel, like when I returned from Athens from Erasmus, I had a depression, because this was the best time in my life. If we had money from European Union, from our school, we didn't have to work. We were able to enjoy our lives there. So it was basically okay. It was a responsible life there, but it wasn't. On the other hand, if you understand what I mean, it was now we work, and it's different. But when I came back from Athens, I had a depression, and I really thought that to travel to abroad will change it. I was unhappy, and I thought that okay, Athens changed my life. But it was not actually about Erasmus or about the concrete place. It was Athens, it was beautiful, but it was not about the concrete place. It's every time it's just about us. And I didn't know that. And I thought that the traveling will change it. Like, I will move to different country, I will be happy. I was thinking like that. So I went to Australia, and I experienced the reality, the cruel reality of life in Australia. And I realized, like I was realizing that before Australia, I was trying to to clear it up in my mind. But in Australia, I definitely realized, oh my God, you were unhappy in Czech Republic, you idiot. This is your home is amazing. So, like so I quite didn't. I realized that it's not about Australia. It's not about traveling or moving to other place, but it's about how I feel the things, and it's about my mind, and it's about that if I want to be happy, I need to set it up in my mind, and it doesn't matter where I am, but I need to find it inside of my own mind. Then if you find it, You can be happy anywhere with maybe anyone, but of course you have the closest friends in your life. They are the most important people for you. But if you find it, you can be happy all alone. Like you can be alone for days, weeks, and you still are able to be happy because you have learned how to be with yourself all alone. And this is what I learned in Australia. So now I don't, how you just said it, that you are in Portugal in quarantine and you are happy. And I believe that I made the same success because I was in Australia and it showed me the way how to make it.
And it's interesting because you were in Greece and then you were in all these other places. But it was Australia that really showed you that your home is actually very special. It was not the other places, it was Australia. So it probably has a relation with what you've been through there.
Yes.
And would you like to talk about like what happened there?
It was a really strong experience because, if you want to go to Australia, it costs you a lot of money to get there and start a new life there. And I didn't have this money, so I really had to borrow the money from my friend. And I started working right after I came to Sydney. And I was there for 6 months, worked 6 days weekly, and every day was like 12, 15 or 17. Sometimes it was 20 hours of working. So my life there was just about working and working. And I didn't have a chance to do what I love, like exercise or doing videos. So I was touched by the reality of Australia, and this reality is the same for all or the vast majority of European people going there to Australia. It's a really hard life there for European people or people from all over the world. Australia is proud to be Australia, and they are proud for their own people. And if someone else wants to go there and live there, study there and everything, you must work hard. And if you study there, you pay a lot of money for it. Why not? If you want to live there and work there, you work really hard. So I basically didn't have time for anything else but working. So it was really, really hard for me. And so I basically lost everything I loved, like video, exercising. And I realized that my home is quite a good place because, I had time for everything here. When I was in Czech Republic, I really wanted to leave. Like I felt unhappy, and I thought that life in Australia is going to be much better. But Australia showed me that it's not like that. So I realized that my home is quite a good place, and my life here is actually really good according to the life in Australia. And then my friend in Australia in my work, he committed suicide one day. No one knows why. He didn't tell anything to any of us, but I was last person who talked to him and who saw him alive. So when this happened, I started to feel really depressed because of him, and I quite felt a chaos in my mind, and I started to realizing all these things. And the second thing, that I lived in a car, in a van. Like, it was amazing to feel this freedom because I dreamt of this freedom back in Czech Republic. I was like, oh, if I can fall asleep next to the ocean any day, different place, and I had it, and it was amazing. But I found out that it doesn't make me happy. I found out that happiness is in my mind and not there in the car or falling asleep every day, different place. But I started to realizing all these things, and also the death of my friend there made me sure that I should really look up for happiness in my mind. And because I don't know why he did it.
You were also there in a quite challenging time. I mean, there were the bushfires, then like the amount of hours you were working, then it started the coronavirus. So it's
I experienced. Now you mentioned the bushfires. This is also the thing. Everyone saw that in the television, but we had the experience to be there. when it happened. And when I saw all of the smoke up to Sydney and all of the crying people who lost their homes, this is what showed me like your home is amazing and you should be proud of it. You should be happy that you can live the life you live back in Czech Republic. These people lost their homes, or unfortunately people died because of bushfires. And when you see this, you realize a lot of things. You start to value what you have back in Czech Republic or in your home, anywhere it is, it doesn't matter. So this was also really experiencing thing which opened my eyes a lot.
And how did you manage these, like, emotionally? Like, all of the things that were happening, how did you manage these emotionally?
Well, the first wave was depression and chaos in my mind because all of these things happened so fast, and so I needed some time to, clear up my mind, which actually happened when I was already back home, because I needed some time, couple of weeks, to realize what actually happened in Australia, because it was so many things, bushfires, the war, the death of my friend, then there was the coronavirus and everything. And when I was waiting for my airplane so I could go home, I was basically one big chaos. I had so many feelings inside of my head, but it was a mess. So I came back to Czechia. I had some time to think about all of these things. I started working like a normal working life, and I cleared up my mind and I realized all of these things.
And how did you manage to clear up your mind, to organize your thoughts?
Actually, step by step, first of all, I took, let's for example say the bushfires, and I was thinking about all the consequences for all the people who was affected by bushfires. And I realized they lost their homes, but I have my home here and it's a really nice place. This is how I started to value my home, and I was not able to do this before. Before Australia, I didn't value my home. I wanted to leave, I wanted to run away. But because all of this, I realized I love it. It's so peaceful. Like I can go for walking, and it's safe country. I have best friends here. It's not that bad. It's actually really good. So I took this information and I changed my thinking about my home country and home village and town. When I was okay with all of that, I took another thing, like for example the working life in Australia, and I thought to myself, now I have a job. Of course I have my business dream, and I have been trying to build it up, but I'm happy for a job which I have, because I work from Monday to Friday and I have 3 weekends, which was not possible in Australia in that job. So I also started to value how I can live the work life here in Czech Republic, because in Australia it was not possible to have 3 weekends. I had to be in job in Australia on Saturdays and Sundays. And when I cleared up my mind in this field, I took another one, and step by step I cleared up my mind, definitely.
Okay, so then you went basically through comparison, right? Comparison from what was there, what is here now, but this time giving way more value to the things that you already had, but you were not seeing the value, and then by having that experience, that for you it was like really a big accomplishment, a big dream that ended up being a situation that brought you these messages that it's here where you are. That's the place to be, not the expectations that you had. How was this, like, regarding expectations? Because you had a lot of expectations, right, about Australia, about the life there, about van life, about making videos about that, and then it turned out another way, right? Some of the parts. So how was this for you for your...
Yeah. I mean, it's not like the Australia disappointed me. It's not like that. Australia is a beautiful country, and I think that expectations of the visual side of Australia, it was exactly what I expected, because I already knew that there is an ocean and there is the desert, and I quite think that what I thought it's going to look like, it looks like that in real. So Australia is a beautiful country. One life was amazing. I felt exactly what I wanted to feel when I was falling, when I was falling asleep next to the ocean on the beach. So my expectations were equal of reality. I mean, the visual side and the feeling which I really wanted to have. So it was like that. But it's basically nothing comparing to all of these things I just talked about, so but it's beautiful country. Sydney is a beautiful city. There is a lot of amazing people. They are happy there, but it's not place for me. So I came back. I returned.
But you had to go there to understand it.
Yes, and I'm really, really happy for that. Even, the vast majority of my emotions there was negative, and it was a really hard time for me. It was really hard for me to make it all these 6 months, but I am really, really happy for that, because I believe that it moved me forward. These 6 months moved me forward about 10 years in my mind. Because if I would stay in Czech Republic, this would never happen. I would be still unhappy at this moment, and it would be like another years to realize what I realized in Australia in 6 months. So this is a huge experience for me, and I wouldn't change a thing. Of course, that I would be happy that if my friend would be alive. This is the only thing which makes me sad. But it happened, and I can't do anything with that right now. So
this is incredible how life works sometimes.
Yes.
And also I remember that maybe more regarding self-confidence. I remember that in Greece you made a decision of changing your diet habits, of starting to cook healthier, and that was something that really evolved quite well over the last years. How has it been for you to change the way you feel about your body and that you see it, and to actually focusing on it? How has it been for you, like externally and internally?
So internally, it's mostly about healthy self-confidence, because when I was fat, I didn't feel good with when I, for example, had some relationship, and I was naked. Like I didn't feel good. I didn't feel healthy and self-confident. I was not satisfied with my body. So internally, it's mostly about the healthy self-confidence, and of course about healthy. I started to exercise, especially because of my healthy, because I knew I had problems with breathing. So I started to realize that I should really do something with myself. Otherwise, I'm going to die when I'm 20. So I started to eat healthy and exercise, because I started to like my life, and I realized that I would like to live as long as possible. So I started to cook healthy foods, exercise, and of course that I wanted to have, muscled body and be attractive for girls. But this is the cherry on the top of cake. But mostly it's about healthy. You want to feel good, you don't want to be tired, you want to look good, you want to have healthy self-confidence, and you want to live as long as possible. So these are the reasons why I started exercising and eating healthy and cooking healthy.
Almost in the end of the period we were in Greece, you posted a video that you did, and this video was about your story, about
this one.
yeah, about your parents, the overweight, your lack of self-confidence. And that was a quite emotional video that we loved watching. It was very meaningful. I remember that even one of my friends that were in Portugal, she wrote me like, wow. And considering like this part of your life that's also made you who you are. So considering all this, what would you tell to this boy that is in that video?
You've come a long journey. You've come a long journey, I guess. But I feel myself still at the beginning, actually. So You know, I still have a dreams, and I still haven't make it come true yet. So I've been working on it since Athens, but there is still a lot of work in front of me. Of course, that this is going to take me all of my life, but I'm happy that I'm still on my way, and I'm still strong to continue. So what I would say, hard question, Joanna, hard question. I don't know. Talk to myself when I was a child. I would say that you are good to make it so far, and keep going, even if it's not going to end up where you want to. It's still important to stay on the road and keep trying and keep going, because this is what life is about. You are good, Ondřej, and I'm proud of you. This is what I would say.
And
What would you say, Joanna, to yourself when you were 15 years old? You're 15 years old. Joanna is now sitting on your left hand. What would you say?
the 15 years old, 15, okay. So 15 years old Joanna, she was giving the first step of freedom after the most challenging period of my life, actually. Yeah, it was really, that was the turning point of my life. That was also a beginning there. And it's interesting because now that I've understood more things, and accordingly to numerology, I had year 1 at 15, which was really a new beginning, and I had also a year 1 in Greece, and that was really a proof that, those were my 2 last beginnings, and things really changed. But so what would I say to this girl? That you have no idea what you are capable of. No idea, no clue about who you are. But there is way more than you could ever imagine that there is. What you think is your reality can go way further your vision. And back then I also wasn't traveling and thought it was just a dream, you know. Whoa, like this girl was like the worst. 15 years old Joanna was the one of the worst at English classes, okay? And now it's like I feel much more me talking in English, even though if I don't speak correctly or whatever, but it's just I mean, there are so many things that I could say to this girl. I mean, things that changed, but definitely, like, imagine if I would say things to encourage her, I would just say that life is just an exploration. You are completely on the right path. You may not be seeing it right now, but you are definitely gonna see it. You're gonna give by risking, you're gonna give like super big jumps in your life and evolve in ways that you would never expect. And your life is really what you made out of it, and you really have capacities that are way beyond what you could ever imagine. And it's incredible because you really can help people and you can help yourself, and you are the focus.
Amazing. It was like from some movie, Joanna. Amazing.
Yeah, and people who are listening this, like, I totally recommend it to watch, but not only watch, but to listen, to deeply listen, to really feel the videos that both me and Ondřej did and have been doing, because it seems that we kind of end up going the same way in different ways, but in different ways, in different sensitivities, with different messages, spreading the same thing. What we experience through images and audio, and it's inspiring. It's not inspiring because we're not here to inspire, or at least I'm not. I'm here to encourage because I'm not above anyone, and I think you also don't feel that. We are just going through it. We are going through it and using our knowledge, our lessons that we learn to encourage the people around us that feel connected to our words. But yeah, definitely people, you should check Ondrej's channel because it's called Vena, because he really puts these videos about his life, the one I already referred about, also the exercise, that's a journey that he did in order to feel better with his body, and also about the travels, about the journey in Australia, and you can really have a closer feeling of what this is like or was like, and also about what is gonna come, because for sure we're gonna keep on living and feeling like spreading and like sharing the things we learn.
Yeah, definitely. And all of you guys should check Joanna's channel, because when we were back in Athens, I told her, Joanna, you should really start making videos. And she was like, oh, I don't think it's a good idea, Ondřej. And I was like, oh, I believe you are an artist, and I think that your videos would be amazing. And you didn't believe it. A couple of years ago, you created a channel, you made some videos, and I was definitely right about it. It's amazing, it's deep, you have a lot to say to people. It makes you think about things when you are watching the videos of Joanna, and it's really original and unique, so check it out.
It's incredible.
When I saw the video 2018, I really had to check it like 4 times, and I was like still thinking. I was feeling that connection, and I was thinking about what is the purpose of the video, what she wants to say, and it's so clever, that video, that it makes you watch it again and again to understand what you are talking about, which is genius. And it's professional, it's really good. You should make another video, Joanna. Actually, I haven't seen anything from you since last weeks or months, so hope you are working on something lately.
I do have some things in the backstage. I'm just trying to manage everything. I really have to thank you, I have to thank you, and I already did, because if it wasn't you, this channel wouldn't exist. Not because of a channel, whatever, it's not a channel, it's just the videos themselves. Of course, it also had to do with my own actions and thoughts and willingness, but you unblocked something when in Athens you used to kind of, I thought you were like joking with me, because you were like, Joanna, you should definitely do a YouTube channel, and I was really like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, why? And then you were saying, like, because you are funny. And then I'm like, but no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, what? And, well, years after, it ended up happening. And of course, the fact that you said that to me before really contributed for it to actually happen. And yes, it didn't happen the way I was thinking, that you were mentioning, like me talking in front of a camera, but it happened in a much deeper way, and something that just happened, and well, I'm glad it did. So
and it's really cool the way how you do it. It's much better.
And I want to ask you, like, what is the voice inside you wants to say?
Try to find pure happiness, love, and respect for everyone and for yourself. Try to make your dreams come true. Be happy for what you have, and not for you don't have. be happy for your friends, for your family, because this and your dreams and to be healthy, these are the most important things, not material things, but the things which you have in your mind and in your heart. So don't chase the money, don't chase the material things, but chase the love, chase the dreams, and this is the most important thing in life.
And would you recommend people to try it or to actually do it?
At least try and then do it. Like if you try it, you do it, right? So
And the point is to try to do, or to stay in the process of doing, or to do?
to stay in the process of doing, because it takes a lifetime, it doesn't stop. So
Yeah.
so start it and keep going this journey. It doesn't stop.
So I really thank you for this talk. It was amazing to kind of see you and speak to you again, but also mostly because it was such a fluid talk, like just it was also a chance for me to not try to control everything as in the other episodes, that I'm trying to go there and there and there, and with you I felt no, it's time for me to just surrender to what it is and to this energy and whatever, because whatever needs to be heard is gonna be said. Wow, that was
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. I'm so happy that we are recording this so I can watch it and watch it again and again after. And I'm really happy, Joanna, that I could have talked to you again, because actually I do not have many people who I can talk to about all these things like that. So I'm really, really happy for you as my friend, and I'm really happy that I could be here with you in this talk and chat, and I really hope that it's going to happen more often. And I wish that all of the people who are listening right now, that it was not wasted time and they can take something from our talk.
I'm sure it wasn't.
Would be happy for that.
Because even just hearing life experiences makes us, it's like meeting people, when you are traveling, gives us these perspectives and these insights, these real insights, not just I went there or that or there, but I felt there when I went there, I felt that when I experienced this. And that's the thing that connects us, because we all are facing things. We're not just going through them, we're not just we are feeling things, and we don't really share them, but it's when we share them that we understand that we are so connected.
Yeah.
So for sure your words are adding, and even if they're not adding to whoever is listening to this, they're adding to me, because I really felt them. I got emotional twice. Okay, so
thank you for that. And this is definitely enough for me, Joanna. I'm really happy.
So
and of course that your words every time supports my way of thinking of life. How you think and how you set up your mind, it's really unique, and I'm really happy that I have a friend like you. So thanks for that.
Oh, I know I like yeah, it's very good to find people like this. And now let's keep flowing our lives, and let's let everyone flowing in their lives, observing these words and these things that maybe they're feeling, and
yeah, this is all we can wish for.
bling. Yeah.